Keep people in the dark by never revealing the purpose behind your actions. If they have no clue what you are up to, they cannot prepare a defense. Guide them far enough down the wrong path, envelop them in enough smoke, and by the time they realize your intentions, it will be too late. Today we will understand this topic, dividing it to two parts. Do not give them the chance to sense what you are up to. Throw them off the scent. Use false sincerity. Send ambiguous signals. Set up misleading objects of desire. Unable to distinguish the genuine from the false, they cannot pick out your real goal. Let's jump to a story where Ninan teaches Marquis how to impress a girl.
How long should I stay single? Am I that bad?
Ninan was 62 at the time, and more than experienced in matters of love. The Marquis was a lad of 22, handsome, dashing, but hopelessly inexperienced in romance. First, he had to understand that this was war. Every step had to be planned and executed with the utmost attention to detail and nuance.
You have to approach the Countess with a bit of distance. You should approach as a friend but not a potential lover. This is to throw her off the scent. Once the Countess gets confused, it would be time to make her jealous.
Wherever the Countess would now see the Marquis, he would be surrounded by the most stunning young women in Paris. Not only would the Countess be seething with jealousy, she would come to see the Marquis as someone who was desired by others. This gives him instant value, as well as it makes it all the more satisfying to snatch him from their clutches. Once the Countess was jealous, Ninan did this.
Countess called me to her friend's party. Credit for this achievement goes to you. I am going for it.
You can't go.
Marquis would be failed to be present on the site where Countess called him. Now the Countess would be unable to predict his moves. All of this would push her into the state of emotional confusion that is a prerequisite for successful seduction. Ninan monitored the Marquis's progress. Through her network of spies, she heard how the Countess would laugh a little harder at his witticisms, listen more closely to his stories. She heard that the Countess was suddenly asking questions about him. Her friends told her that at social affairs the Countess would often look up at the Marquis, following his steps. Ninan felt certain that the young woman was falling under his spell. It was a matter of weeks now, maybe a month or two, but if all went smoothly, the citadel would fall. A few days later the Marquis was at the Countess's home. They were alone. Suddenly he was a different man, this time acting on his own impulse, rather than following Ninan's instructions. He took the Countess's hands, and told her,
I love you.
Excuse me. For the rest of the evening she avoided his eyes, was not there to say good night to him. The next few times he visited he was told she was not at home. Ninan knew that men and women are very different, but when it comes to seduction they feel the same. Deep down inside, they often sense when they are being seduced, but they give in because they enjoy the feeling of being led along. Everything in seduction, you cannot announce your intentions or reveal them directly in words. To surrender to your guidance they must be appropriately confused. You have to scramble your signals, appear interested in another man or woman, then hint at being interested in the target, on and on. Such patterns not only confuse, they excite.
Imagine the story from the Countess's perspective. After a few of the Marquis's moves, she sensed the Marquis was playing some sort of game, but the game delighted her. She did not know where he was leading her, but so much the better. His moves intrigued her, each of them keeping her waiting for the next one. She even enjoyed her jealousy and confusion, for sometimes any emotion is better than the boredom of security. The moment the Marquis uttered that fatal word love, however, all was changed. This was no longer a game with moves, it was an artless show of passion. His intention was revealed, he was seducing her. Countess felt embarrassed and used. A door closed that would never open again.
Most people are open books. They say what they feel. They do this for several reasons. First, it is easy and natural to always want to talk about one's feelings and plans for the future. It takes effort to control your tongue and monitor what you reveal. Second, many believe that by being honest and open they are winning people's hearts. But honesty bloodies more than it cuts. Your honesty is likely to offend people. If you yearn for power, quickly lay honesty aside, and train yourself in the art of concealing your intentions. Use the tactic in the following manner: hide your intentions not by closing up, this has a risk of appearing secretive and making people suspicious, but by talking endlessly about your desires and goals, just not your real ones. You will kill 3 birds with 1 stone. You appear friendly, open, and trusting. You conceal your intentions, and you send your rivals on time-consuming wild goose chases. Another powerful tool in throwing people off the scent is false sincerity. People easily mistake sincerity for honesty. They value honesty and want to believe in the honesty of those around them. They will rarely doubt you or see through your act. Seeming to believe what you say gives your words great weight. Remember, the best deceivers cultivate an air of honesty in one area to disguise their dishonesty in others. Deception is always the best strategy, but the best deceptions require a screen of smoke to distract people's attention from your real purpose. Unreadable poker face is often the perfect smoke screen. I know you won't get clear only by my words. Let's shift to a real estate story.
Real estate?
I want to buy your apartment which is on sale.
The price is $8,000, but you are required a down payment of $2,000.
Weil came back the following day and offered,
I will pay you full $8,000 in cash, if you could wait a couple of days, until I am working to crack a deal.
Even in semi-retirement, a clever businessman like Giselle was curious to know how Weil would be able to come up with so much cash so quickly, which is roughly $150,000 today.
Leave it, let's have a coffee now.
No, first I want to know it. Else I am not doing this deal. You may search other dealers and waste your time and money.
Okay, fine. My uncle is the secretary to a multimillionaire financiers. These wealthy gentlemen had purchased a hunting lodge 10 years ago at a cheap price. So they had decided to sell it and had asked my uncle to get a deal whatever he could find. He would sell the property for $35,000 to a set-up man, whom it was Weil's job to find. The financiers are too wealthy to worry about this low price. The set-up man would then sell the property again for its real price, around $155,000. Then, my uncle, me and the third man would split the profits from this second sale.
Okay, then you need a third person. I will be that. If yes, then I will provide you a heavy discount in this apartment's deal.
While Giselle, Weil, uncle and millionaire were in a deal, they bet for a fight. While fighting, their fighter got heavily injured and met to death. Viewing this sight, Giselle left the money and deal, and ran away to get safe from crime. Do you know, this was a real plan of Weil. Actually the fighter was not really dead. Weil, his uncle, millionaire and fighter splitted the money that Giselle left and ran away.
Weil knew the boxing match scam would be the perfect ruse to separate Giselle from his money. But he also knew that if he had begun by trying to interest Giselle in the boxing match, he would have failed miserably. He had to conceal his intentions and switch attention, creating a smokescreen.
If you believe that you can mislead with elaborate lies and tall tales, you are greatly mistaken. Extravagant words and gestures immediately raise suspicion. So, grab your sucker's attention with the familiar. People can only focus on one thing at a time. It is really too difficult for them to imagine that the harmless person they are dealing with is simultaneously setting up something else. The simplest form of smokescreen is facial expression. This is a weapon that the most powerful men in history have learned to perfect. Good player is seldom an actor. Player practices a bland behavior that minimizes readable patterns, frustrates and confuses opponents. Another effective smokescreens is the noble gesture. People want to believe apparently noble gestures are genuine.
They rarely notice how deceptive these gestures can be.
Another effective smokescreen is the pattern. The establishment of a series of actions that seduce the victim into believing you will continue in the same way.
The pattern plays on the psychology of anticipation.
Another psychological weakness on which to construct a smokescreen is the tendency to mistake appearances for reality, the feeling that if someone seems to belong to your group. The trick is simple, you simply blend in with those around you. The better you blend, the less suspicious you become. But be careful, no smokescreen, red herring, false sincerity, or any other diversionary device will succeed in concealing your intentions if you already have an established reputation for deception. In such cases it is better to appear honest.
Oh, I understood. The colorful smoke screen should be used cautiously, and only when the occasion is right.